Hello everyone, we are on page 7 now of Snow in the City. So I'm going to label my last pocket, page 7 and 8. Okay, so 7 is pretty interesting. It's a fun page, it's got a lot going on. So let's get started with making our cuts. The A flap is going to be 7 7/8 by 6 1/4. And that's 2 lines before 8. B is 7 7/8 by 3 1/2. C, which is the same as E, so just cut 2 of these, 7 7/8 by 3 3/8. And 3 3/8 is 2 lines before 3 1/2. D is 7 7/8 by 5 1/8. That's 2 lines after 5. And F is a pocket, so that's 8 5/8, which is 2 lines after 8 1/2 by 4. And a lot of the scrap pieces that you have left over are like 4 1/8, 4 1/4. You don't have to cut that little bit off. There's just going to be a pocket, so it'll be a little deeper. But a lot of the extra pieces are like a little more than 4. So let's start scoring these. Got my pocket page out of the way here. A is going to be scored with the 6 1/4 inch side facing the top of your score. B is going to have the 3 1/2 inch side facing the top. C is going to have, let me make it, the 3 3/8 inch side facing the top. D is going to have the 5 1/8 inch side facing the top. E is the same as C, so that's our short side facing the top, the 3 3/8. And F is a pocket, so I'm going to start with the open side facing the top. Put that away. Let's bring out the score tape and my tear tool. Okay, so F, I believe I already did this one because I had an extra pocket, but you're taping the bottom and the sides. E, same thing, just across the bottom. And set E aside, because we're going to make a wavy cut in those. So D goes across the bottom there. C, or actually E, is the same as C. I'm just going to set this aside. B is 3 1/2, so it looks awfully close to those C and E flaps, so just make sure you put a little pencil mark and label that. And A is our big flap. All right, so press all these down, and you can fold them, just don't fold your C and E. And the pocket, let's cut that before we fold it. Go right up to where the lines intersect and turn out. And then you can fold it. snowy day here, so I am all in the mood for the snow in the city. Okay, so let's take our C and E, and just, you can press these down, just don't fold it yet. So these, when we're on the page, they're gonna be back to back like this with each other. And so I'm picturing a nice wavy line right here. So let's see, I'm gonna pull out one of my Kiwi lanes. I've been using these two on the book, but you only really need one. It could be any of, they have lots of different, you know, sets of these. This is the Paisley Place set from Kiwi Lane. And you can find these probably on eBay, but certainly at kiwilane.com. And if you get a set of them, you can use them in your regular 12 by 12 scrapbooks, because with them being, you know, clear, transparent like this, I can put it like that and see what it would look like if I layer them on top of each other. So they're kind of fun to layer. So I'm going to take one and just see what looks good here. That looks pretty good like that. Maybe it'd go up a little bit. It doesn't matter really what you do. It could be anywhere. That looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is, got this straight here, I'm just going to draw a line right here with a pencil. And then when we cut this, we could just erase any pencil lines that might be there. Okay, so on the other side, I'm not gonna have it match exactly. It's kind of nice to be offset a little. So let's do something a little different with this side. Put two wavy lines there. Yeah, it's just, all right. And that looks good to me. So let's see, make it like this. And I will show you how to put your paper on top of here. It's pretty easy. Whoopsie. Hold this down and make sure it doesn't move. Okay, so then we can put this away and cut these. And these little templates are great if you scrapbook on the go, if you go to crops, because they don't take up much room and you can do lots of different things. I used to have a cutter that cut a wavy line, but it was the same wavy line. These, you can change it up a bit, and they're portable, so I really love it. And I thought I'd bring it into this book here because we've got our ice skater, and you know, this looks like an ice skating line. It just looks kind of neat. Something different. I try to do something different with each project. But the basic style is kind of the same. I'm gonna have to change it up, maybe do a folio sometime. But I like these books with the pockets because you don't have to cover up your design paper as much. You can put things in the pockets. So that is a common thing you'll see in my books. Okay. And then just take your pencil and just erase along the edge here in case you have any little bits of pencil marks showing. All right, now let's get this onto our pocket page. So we've got page 7 here, and let's start with flap A. And flap A is going to be on the left-hand side, so I'm going to turn my paper over. And I think I'm going to corner round this. Let me just see what I want to do. I'm going to corner round it. And I've been sometimes I forget, but I try to do it before I glue it down or, you know, tape it down, because in case I make a mistake on the edge. All right, so I'm gonna lift up the paper backing, the tape backing there, and look to the left and right. You have a little bit of a space, like a 1/16 of an inch, one line on a ruler, and I'm gonna guide it to the edge here with my thumbs, and it looks all nice and straight. And then just gently place it down. Voila. And then let's see, so this next flap, I'm going to have, this is D, is gonna go right here. And I'm not gonna corner around these, because either the C or the E is gonna go right on top of here. So I'm not gonna corner around that. So I bring it to the edge right here, but leave a little bit of space so this A flap can fold over top of this. So put it down, guide it. It looks like there's a little bit of space left and right. And I'm guiding it just so that I have a little bit of space with a score line. I don't want to have this right on top of the score line. I've got to leave myself a little bit of room. Maybe like, it's hard to see, I'm in a shadow right here. I'm going to angle myself. All right, just like a one line, the same that you have on the top and bottom. And it'll basically, if the little black shows, it just looks like edging, you know, like a border. Right. That's what happens when I'm at dusk here. It's a little dark outside. I get a shadow with my light, but there we go. And this goes over top, so looks all straight. And now I'm gonna press it down. Okay, so now I'm gonna take either one, C or E, and put it right at the edge there. So let me fold this now that we cut it. Okay, and I am going to turn this upside down because I want my wavy line facing into the middle of the book. And it's the same length as this D flap, and I'm just going to bring it to the edge. Okay, that's all nice and straight. Voila, like that. The next flap is B. That goes on the right-hand side. And I am going to hold this down with a little weight because I want to make sure that I have a little bit of space here. Yeah, so this B flap comes right up to, you know, a little bit before. You want to leave a little bit of space so you can open and close these flaps. Yeah, you just got a little bit of space there. And then we'll take our next wavy flap. And this is going to go facing out. The wave is going to face the outer edge of this pocket. So the two inner folds are facing each other. So let me try to look here. I might have to turn this upside down. Okay. So this goes, it is the left and right is right up to the edge, and I'm going to let this down right at the edge of this B flap. Add a little bit of space. Let me just lift that up. Goes right to the edge. There. So basically, these two are going to go like this. All right, so the last thing is now our pocket. Okay, so I'm making sure that I leave a little bit of space before this score line. And I'm going to let it go right at the edge of this pocket page. Actually, it scooted over just a little bit, so let me scoot that back a little bit to the left. As I was placing it down, it kind of shifted on me, which is another advantage why we only lift up one side. I don't have to lift up these sides. So I'm going to save that for after I put my design paper. There we go. Okay. Now I have a little bit of space over here, a little bit of space over there. And we're ready to put down our magnets. And now there are a fair amount of magnets on this page, just because of these, you know, flaps. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is put two flaps on the edge, on the top and bottom of this. Both of these are going to have two right here. I'm going to tape this down. You can either use 1/4 inch or the 3/8 inch, up to you. Okay, I'm going to tape this down. I am running to the end of this roll of tape. Okay, so that lays down. I'm also going to put two on the other side, so the D flap going in here. So two more. This page does require some magnets, but other pages don't require as many. All kind of evens out, I think. I should count up how many packs of magnets per album. I kind of lose track, but I would say at least 3. Two or 3. But it's worth it. These are so nice. Whoops. that may have been labeled wrong. Every once in a while they do label the minus as a plus and vice versa. Yeah, all right. So what I think is a plus under here is a minus, I believe, because those minuses are not sticking to it. And if that happens, you can always just turn it upside down and tape it down. That happens every once in a while. Okay, so let's flip this up. All right, so that one's done. Let's turn ourselves around and do the next wavy flap. I have a little where I labeled this. It's kind of sticking out. If it's on the edge, I have to erase it because I want the border to show black. So where am I going to put this? I guess I'll have to put it over here. Maybe over here. Yeah, I'll put it right there. Okay. Fold that over. Okay, and now we have to put two over here. Okay. And then the next thing is our A flap. And then I will show you how to decorate this wavy flap. I think I might have done that in the earlier video, but I will take out a piece of paper and do it for you. Just show it to you. Okay, and then A over here, I'm gonna put two that are gonna land. Let me see where it lands. I'm gonna make sure. Yes, it will have plenty of room to land right on that outer wavy. Tape lifted up, I have to push it back down. Okay, here we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. This one is a little close to the edge, so I may move that one. This one's okay, but basically I might as well just show you in case that ever happens to you. Luckily, I have room over here, and I always try to figure that when I'm cutting the measurements, but I can just back this one up a little bit. So since it landed too close to the edge over here, I'm just gonna push this further to my edge over here. Not too close, otherwise I'll have the same problem, but there we go. Maybe, hopefully that will make a difference. It looks like it's about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. All right, so I'm just going to do this one again. Give that a second to dry. Yeah, so undo is necessary, but I really only use it a couple times in a project. All right, that's better. It's a little further away. I just want the edge of my paper to stay taped down. So that's that. Now, that's our page. I'm just gonna go over how to do one of these flaps. Okay, so let me grab a piece of paper. It's just a scrap. Yeah. And see if I have a scrap that's a good size. It's not quite the right size. Hold on. That is not big enough. Let me just grab a piece over here that I just don't care as much about. I have plenty of red, so I'm going, these are my leftover pieces from this album. Not too many, just a few pieces that are left over. Okay, so you take, I'm gonna cover this wavy flap. So what I do first is measure top and bottom, and I'm laying it on top here, and I just have a little bit of an edge there and a little bit over here, and I'm going to cut this piece. So that's the first thing you want to cut. Okay. And then I'm gonna lay it on top of here, and normally I would leave myself like a 1/16 of an inch. Let me get a contrasting piece of paper. So normally I have just a little bit of a 1/16 of an inch of black showing, but then I want to double that because I want the same amount of space on my wavy side. So I'm going to pull it towards the center, and now I have this much space. Okay, so it's like 1/8 of an inch. And then, get this one out of the way. I've got it lined up where I have a little bit of space left and right. And I'm going to take this flap with this paper on it, keep it together, and just fold it down, and then draw your line right here. And since I gave myself that little extra room, when I go to put this on, I will have a little border space along this wavy line. Okay, so I'm going to cut that. Okay, and then when I lay it on top, wait a minute. What did we just do? We just did this one. Hold up. Crazy, crazy. I probably have it upside down. Oh, what did I just do? Okay. Yikes. Well, forget I just did that. Oh, you know what? I picked the wrong piece. I knew something was going on. Okay, so there. That was crazy of me. All right, so now let me put this contrasting piece back there so you can see. Silly, silly. Okay, so now I have a little bit of a border along this edge and a little bit along this edge, and that is it. Sorry about that. Hope I didn't confuse anyone. But basically, you're taking your paper, putting it on top of here. Make sure you have the same, this amount of space plus this amount of space, and then flip it over and draw your line. And that is it. You do the same exact thing for the other side. You take a piece of paper, put it there, and draw your line on this side. And that's how you do the underside. So I hope that works, and now you have a new technique. They're fun to decorate. It's a fun page, and that is it. I will see you in the next video for our last page, page 8.